Well, good morning, everybody. It's me, Mitch. I'm going to show you what I go through on my typical morning. Go for a little walk, do a little balance and walking practice, and I'll talk to you all along the way, like I used to in my walk and talk videos, which I miss. I really miss them. All this while the gardeners are mowing the grass, as usual. Pardon the noise. The first thing I'm going to do today, before I go out and go for a walk, which will probably tire me out, is I'm going to practice with this little cane and practice walking with nothing touching the ground except my 2 feet. So let me go over here, get around this walker. I practice along this place here because if I do lose my balance, I have something to grab onto if I feel like I'm going to fall and stabilize myself. The purpose of this practice is to try to establish a normal walking rhythm with this cane, which will really allow me to get out, get around some more. It's getting better and better, and then on the way back, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just pick it up off the ground and keep it off the ground and continue to practice the walking. The problem is I still have to concentrate a great deal because none of this is fully automatic anymore. I have to relearn, like I was a toddler. I have to relearn, let my muscle memory take over. I have to remember to keep my hands on my side and keep swinging. But I practice here, as you can see. If I ever feel a little bit unsure, I want to just touch on something that kind of gives me a reference, a stable reference. So I'll do this maybe 5 or 10 times back and forth here in the morning, and it's paying off. It really is. It really is paying off. So, after I get done with that, put that away, get behind the walker. Let's go out into the world. See what the lawnmowers are up to. I have one more week of physical therapy, both occupational therapy and physical therapy. One more week. I guess I should be glad to take it. Okay, keep the neighborhood looking so good. But at any rate, let's shut that door behind me and we'll head out a little bit. Oh, they're going across the street. Okay. I have one more week of physical therapy left. I can seek some physical therapy from the VA if I want, but I've had a lot of discussions with my therapist and asked them, do I really need to continue? And the consensus of both of them is that I'm doing perfectly fine at my own physical therapist. And I have all the printed material that they left me, and I've got their blessings. They're going to sign off on me, and I think I know what to do. Much like I do with my medical care. I have been self-directing that for a long time, because every time I get intertwined with the doctors, all I end up doing is suffering somehow or other from their incompetence or their bad advice. I still fully blame all of my misfortunes, including this stroke, on the fact that they allowed me to leave the hospital twice, 3.5 years ago, with a brain bleed that was still bleeding, and for one reason or another would not authorize a brain CT scan. After the initial one that diagnosed the fact that I had a brain bleed, they would not authorize, or, I mean, this is even worse. They were so incompetent that they forgot to do it. Turned me out in the world on 2 separate occasions with an active brain bleed, which turned into a subdural hematoma, which caused me to have this brain surgery, which I think, contrary to all the vegans in the world, who, well, and doctors too, are so quick to blame cholesterol and the carnivore diet causing my stroke. After next week, I'll be finished with the physical therapy, and at least the official physical therapy, but I will be self-directing my therapy. Primarily, at this point in my recovery, physical therapy is most important, and the things that you're going to want to do every day if you're active. And I'm active enough that I think that just about everything I do, I can consider physical therapy. Try to use my right hand whenever I have the opportunity, and that's really improving. That's improving wonderfully, and getting a lot more use out of it. Yesterday I did something that for the first time, I was in my exercise room, and I actually put my hands up on the high bar and hung for a few seconds. Hey, I hung for a few seconds and stretched myself out real good, which felt really good, and it felt very strange. To be careful that I have a bad back, and hanging like that stretches my back out, and that felt great. I also, hey Mike, oh man, how am I doing? I haven't seen you since I had the stroke, have I? That was Mike. Mike has been my neighbor ever since I moved in here. He's 10 years older than me, disabled veteran. Can hardly walk at all anymore, but Mike's a good model for somebody who has a really severe disability, but makes the best of his life, and a fellow cigar smoker. Okay, well, we're going to walk back home, and depending on how much energy I think I have left, I might practice a little more cane walking. I think the toughest part of all this is twofold. It's twofold. Not getting depressed, trying to keep your attitude upbeat, and it's an uphill climb. It takes a conscious effort, because our tendency as human beings is for our mood to, let's say, depression is much easier to fall into than optimism. So you have to consciously think good thoughts and assume that things are going to be okay. Oh, my neighbors are out today. You can't see me. That's Otto over there. Look over here, Otto. Nope, not now. Ah, there he is. How you doing, Otto? Thank you, thank you. I can do a song and dance for you now. Getting exercise, making videos again. Otto's been a big help. Good guy, good guy. Keeping your attitude, your optimism up is tough. And the second thing that wants to drag you down is the tendency to be bitter about the fact that I'm pretty sure that I'm in the state that I'm in, and was in the state when I had my brain surgery because of the carelessness and malpractice of our health, well, they call it health care, of our health care system, which I think, and that only gets reinforced after every time I have to get involved. And there are times you have to get involved. You do have trauma. There's nothing really wrong with the trauma care system. You go into the emergency room, they try to make sure that if you're in bad shape, that you live. I admire those guys. It's what happens to you when you get caught up in the system, have to be hospitalized for anything. That's when the true nature of the throw drugs at it mentality of the healthcare system really comes out. It really comes out. And after being stuck in the system for 3.5 weeks, which I was, which for me was the longest I'd ever had to be stuck in that nonsense in my lifetime. I feel happy to be out alive, happy to be out alive, and can only work harder and harder to do everything I can so that I don't have to go back to that. I don't want to go back to that, ever. Well, will I? I don't know, probably. I was hoping that the brain surgery would have been the last encounter. But here I am. Here I am. Well, I think that was an activity for this morning. Thanks. Thanks for caring. Thanks for being interested. Thought I'd make this little update because I get asked a lot. Get asked a lot of questions. How's your recovery going? So, with that being said, my friends, it's a gorgeous morning. Go out and enjoy it. If it's gorgeous where you are too. For me, I'm already enjoying it. And I feel pretty good after all that. I don't feel too tired. I see a little improvement every day. So, take the rest of the day off. Take the rest of the day off and eat meat.